All right, guys, it's time to turn those notifications back on. It's your girl, ULG De La Ray.
ULGK.
And ULGJ. Welcome back to the group chat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's been another eventful week, so we have plenty of things to check in for reality. There has been an update with the Osefo's trials. I say trials because it has been updated that they will be taking on this court case separately. Eddie said that he wanted to have more time for his team to dig into some details as the reason why he wanted a separate trial. It has been rumored that maybe he's going to take the fall if they do end up having to take any type of jail time, which I think he should. When I get any more updates, I will let y'all know. The next update, I don't know if y'all have heard, but some crazy bitch shot up Rihanna's house while her and the kids and the ASAP were in the house. This is a crazy woman named Ivana Lizette Ortiz. She has been charged with 14 charges, which includes attempted murder, I believe 10 counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, and 3 counts of shooting at an inhabited dwelling. It's been posted that she's been making crazy ass videos about Rihanna for years, talking about her looks and how she's like devil worshiper, and she's been tweeting crazy shit to Rihanna for a long time, and she showed up to her gate and just shot like 7 rounds into her house. She has a bond of $1.875 million. Doll hairs on her head. We know she ain't got that kind of money.
It's a very specific amount.
It is. And she's going to be in that slammer, honey.
I got like Selena and Yolanda vibes. I was like, one of those things where like she wants to be associated with her forever. We studied that in psychology. Like people will try to kill celebrities so that when you think of that person, you also think of them, even if it's in like a negative context. That's where my mind went. I was like, it gives like obsessed, but like also she wants to be remembered like with Rihanna. But I'm like, that's scary. Like she has very small kids. Yeah. She could stay.
Yeah.
Please, because these white women is crazy and the white men.
The crazy white women. Brittany, you are rich enough to where you can afford Uber, you could afford Lyft, you could afford a black car service. Have your fucking neighbor drive you around. There should be no reason why you are getting arrested at your big ass age. It just makes no sense.
Britney Spears.
Yes, girl. Got arrested over the weekend for a DUI.
Girl.
And I thought to myself, see,
DUI for what? Alcohol, and she got some pills. She got a combination of stuff.
You know what? That's a good question. I didn't even read that far into the article, but I was thinking to myself, this is why they had your ass on that conservatorship.
I was just gonna say they finna put her back up on it.
Get it together. All the resources in the world don't make no motherfucking sense.
I wonder if you get off a conservatory, do they put you on some sort of like probation? You can get off, but if you do these things, we put your ass back in. They might need some structure around that.
For sure. Moving into a little sports update. You all do not know who Arike is. She was a point guard for Notre Dame, and she now plays for the Dallas Wings. And her team for Unrivaled, the 3-on-3 women's basketball league that they created outside of the regular WNBA season, just wrapped up their season, and her team won. The team went to a club afterwards. They're in Miami to like do their thing. Arike was arrested that night for punching a man in the face. Now, I know you all don't know Arike, but Arike is very mild-mannered. Like, she's super chill, laid back. She's not one of those people who's just going to cause drama, especially to the point where she's punching another person, let alone a man, in the face and knocking him to the ground. So I say this to say, I don't know what happened in that interaction. I don't think there's any details that have been released, but I can tell you one thing for sure and another thing for certain. That man was in the wrong. Just allow women to exist without having to be concerned about you inserting yourself in what they got going on. Women are allowed to take up space, and they're allowed to take up space without the presence of men. That's it, and that's all.
Amen.
Okay. I agree. And I also just want to add, I didn't know you could be that short and play in the WNBA. She's like 5'8".
Yeah, but her shot, cold.
No, like, I'm sure she's cold, but I looked her up because I'm thinking, damn, she punched a nigga to the ground.
Exactly.
She gotta be big, but
no. No,
well, you know, she in
exactly.
workouts every day, and he probably in the club every weekend drinking and talking shit. So.
That makes me think of this TikTok I saw where these group of like, they played some kind of sport. It was like a lacrosse team or something like that. They went into a gay like a lesbian bar, and all the lesbians in there basically, like, booed them until they left because they were like, "We don't want you here. Bye."
No, seriously, like that's a safe space for women, not even
Literally.
just women who are homosexual or identify as queer. And there's not that many of those safe spaces that exist. So just let us have that at the very least.
Literally. Any other time you don't wanna be in our face, you don't wanna see us kissing girls and shit, but you wanna be in here with us.
Right.
If you don't get go, let me listen to Katy Perry in peace.
Come on,
Jesus.
Katy Perry.
The girl and I.
Just to keep things, like, in the sports realm, I did have a special request for us to talk about, Bam is it Adebayo? Did I say his last name?
Couldn't tell you. Sounds good
Okay,
enough
I'd
to
have
me.
to look it up so I can spell it out, but y'all know Bam, we just call him Bam. And Asia Wilson, um,
Right?
period. One, because he did surpass Kobe with the most points, 83 points, and I'm pretty sure I got all of this intel from my little sister, just so y'all know. Um, Asia Wilson has the top points for a woman in a basketball game, and she has 53 points. And then when I was on my way here to record, y'all, I seen that Asia Wilson made a threads right after he got the 83 points. And she said, "Go ahead and pee in that cup, my boy." I was fucking crying because she was like, it's random with the quotation marks.
That
Like, they
is
gonna have to make sure.
hilarious.
But, yeah, shout outs to Bam and Asia. They real cute. I love their little banter that they have. I got to see her when I think it's, like, the conference finals that they play before they go to the championship. So they
Mhm.
played the Mercury here, and that was, like, the first time the Mercury made it there in, like, a really long time. So I was at the game here in Phoenix, and when they won, he was there, and it was just to see them, like, interact with each other. And
I
it's, like, good competition. It's not, like, jealous competition.
It is real world love and basketball. I absolutely love their relationship. It is so fucking precious. And the way that they support each other. Like, even before they came out publicly, when Asia dropped her shoe, Bam was wearing her shoe. And so, not to say that he's the reason that other men in the NBA decided to start wearing her shoes, but, one could argue. They're just super, super supportive of each other. Like, when Asia got her statue outside of South Carolina women's basketball arena, he came for
Mm.
that. She was at his game where he drops his 83 points. He came to surprise her when she found out that she was getting the MVP again this past season. They are just like the perfect example of what it means to be in a supportive relationship when they both have their own thing going on. They are both superstars in their own right. And it's like there's no competition with each other. It's like I'm competing to be the best version of myself, and she's doing the same. And as a result, that makes both of us want to go just that much harder. It's like motivation. It's like a competitive
Yes.
motivation for each other, which is absolutely beautiful. And that is a green flag, ladies and gentlemen. Green flag.
Mhm.
Yeah, love it. On that same topic, I don't know if you guys saw that Zendaya and Tom Holland got married.
So they really did, or because I couldn't tell if that was AI or not.
That was AI, but she has been wearing a ring.
I saw that, Law did, like, answer the question somewhere and said that
Mhm.
they had already got married, but I seen all those pictures everybody was reposting, and I feel like I've seen them before.
She's filming a movie where she's like getting married. So I saw some like conversation where it's like, is this like promo for her movie? Like on Law's part, not necessarily her, but I was like,
Mhm.
it kind of makes sense. I mean, I feel like they're married anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
I
was
could see them being married, I just see them being too private to have all those pictures
Yes.
out.
fair.
And putting in proper precautions to make sure that they did not have photos. Not like Lori Harvey and Damson kissing on the balcony. It's like that looks so fake to me. And then other people started saying that. So I was like, okay, I'm not alone. But yeah, I think Zendaya's and Tom are both way smarter than that.
He was giving an interview at some point in time, and a fan asked him a question, and the fan said something like, "Yeah, and I got to see your girlfriend Zendaya," and he was like, "Fiance." I was like, "I know that's
Period.
right." He does not play about her at all. Like, I saw this other video of them getting out of the car together, and there was lots of paparazzi around. He's smaller than Zendaya, but motherfucker turned into the Hulk real quick. Like, back the fuck up.
That's Spider-Man
Right.
Okay?
Tom will
in
stiff
real life.
arm anybody to move out of her way.
And that's beautiful. And then I saw this other video of them talking about like their height difference. And he was like, I love that you're taller than me. And I was like, that right there, that's a confident king because she's like 5'10. And I feel like he's noticeably shorter than her. So he's got to be like 5'8, maybe. And I feel like for a lot of dudes, that would make them hella insecure to even approach a woman that's taller than them. But he's like, fuck it. But that also makes me think, is it something about men who are not American? Do they not care about shit like that?
I mean, it is Zendaya. I wouldn't give a fuck how tall she
True.
was. Shit.
Right.
That's fair. That's fair. I do feel like, though, non-American men, they're lover boys more so than American men. I feel like they're socialized differently when it comes to relationships.
That's what I was going to say. I think they are raised with certain values that still prioritize family and like marriage. Not saying they all honor it because they be cheating, but I think that definitely they're, yeah. And probably not being, not being taller than a woman is probably lower on the priority list.
Yeah.
I saw a couple on Sunday in Longhorn and the girl was taller, but they were like, when couples start to look alike, like they looked alike. And I was like, oh yeah, they're made for each other. It
Yeah.
was so cute. I can't date anybody shorter than me because I'm 5'1". So I need to put that out there.
Exactly. And I'm 5'3". We don't
Right.
play that around
No
here.
fuck-
I have given short kings chances. Won't be none again very soon.
Nope.
That's why I've been on the hunt for somebody tall because I'm like, I need to change the scenery, obviously.
Right. Disappoint me at a new level, a new height.
Hello.
That is too funny. I feel like it would be hard to find someone shorter than us.
Listen, they've tried. And I'm like, or if we're looking eye to eye, no, sir. And I think sometimes people assume that because I'm short that I'm okay with dating a shorter man. And it's no shade, but I mean, in my experience, it's just been like I've felt the Napoleon complex. I felt the overcompensating when you can just be and exist. And I'm like, see, 6 foot and up don't do this. So
how short is too short?
I'm cool with 5'9", 5'8.5".
See, what I was gonna say is since I have to model and stuff, I have to wear heels a lot. So with my heels on, that makes me like 5'6", almost 5'7". My rule of thumb is 5'9" and up, but I've been trying to get on the 6 and up train with the rest of the ladies because initially, like, I didn't like real big niggas because I felt like I needed to be with a nigga that if I really needed to we had to get down and dirty, I'd have a chance to beat your ass at the end of the day. And I'm just never gonna have a chance with a nigga that's 6'4". It don't matter how skinny the nigga is. It's just not gonna work. But if you 5'9", we might be able to get to wrestling or some shit, you feel me? But, I was like, I shouldn't be thinking like that. Let me go ahead and try somebody tall.
And you know what? That's what I was going to say. I was like, I think we should abandon that mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, good.
But it's also something about the niggas who do aggressive things. Like, I just personally don't fuck with football players. That's just not something I've ever been into. But, like, more recently, I've been getting a lot of guys that have been hitting on me that are, like, into, like, kickboxing, MMA, stuff like that. And I'm like, oof.
I feel like that's a different level of quote unquote aggression because they have to channel it and they know how to channel it. Like they know when they're about to take it too far.
Do they? Because every time I see a boxer in the news, he done beat up his girlfriend. And that's just not something I want to be in with.
I was going to say, maybe you can
lethal
find you a
hands.
Keith Lee. He's sweet. He treats his lady nice, so.
He is.
MMA.
And they do be a little on the short side. I'm not going to stunt.
They do.
I am so weak. Well, Tom, we love that you are confident in your little 5'8" self and that you honor your Black Queen Zendaya in all the ways that you do. You guys brought up something though, and even back to Bam and Asia and how their relationship was private. How do you all feel about like keep it private until it's permanent? You feel like that's important to protect your relationship?
No, I think it's different because they're celebrities and they try to keep people out their business just off GP. But in regular life, like now that I'm older, I feel like I'd have to be in like something serious for me to like make it public, especially because I'm like a public brand. I can't just be posting every nigga that I go on a date with.
Do you think that when you open your relationship up to social media, that invites in a level of scrutiny, even for people who are not famous? Scrutiny, jealousy, opinions that are uncalled for.
Yeah, I mean, so in my last relationship, I didn't show his face. Like, I would post things every now and then, but it would just be like small banter. But even then, I would get comments like, dang, he cooks for you a lot. Like, so, I mean, a lot of stuff can be well-meaning, but, like, I think just I've seen other women get treated a certain way based on, like, what a man does for them and, like, them posting it. So, and these days, it's like, rather be safe than sorry. You just never know.
I've never thought of that before. Another thing is, um, if you don't post them, can't nobody be like, "That's my man." So it's like on one hand, I do low key, I need to post you at least once. I can be like, "Yeah, this my nigga." Now that don't mean I'm gonna be posting you all the time or
Mhm.
posting what we doing. At least there's photographic evidence that yes, I'm in a relationship. This is who I'm in a relationship with. Don't get this shit fucking twisted. But like, once I do one of them, and it's just like it's not even like an announcing thing. I feel like back when we were younger, especially around like when social media was more fresh, people announce stuff like that all the time. Even when you go on Facebook and you put yourself in a relationship, I
Mhm.
feel like more so now people do that months after they've already started the relationship. They don't just freshly do it. Back then, you asked me to be my boyfriend by 8 p.m. My shit is updated, nigga. Thank you. But now it's just like let's do a trial run. Make sure I don't have to return the goods before I post about them.
Okay. Still got the tag on it.
Literally. Cause I don't know what it is, but that whole thing about when you start adding emojis to niggas' names and doing cute shit in your phone, they start acting the fuck up.
Listen, ask me
And
how I
it's like,
know. Never added no
honey,
chili pepper. Okay.
as soon as I post it on my Instagram, like shit always starts acting crazy. I can update my Facebook and be fine. Put him on Instagram, and then all of a sudden it's like the marbles just start rolling out the brain.
Downhill.
So there's this show that I watch called Summer House, and we talked about this last week a little bit. This season, they've brought this black guy on there, and his name is KJ. And I love KJ because
Is he like one of the two black people on the show?
one of the three, yes.
Mhm.
And he is self-admittedly a lover boy. And he was raised by his mom, has, I think, 2 or 3 sisters. So he was the only boy. His dad wasn't really in his life. His dad was a professional athlete. So, he was doing professional athlete things. And so there was one episode where he was like, yeah, we went to the club and I had all these women dancing on me. And I just was thinking to myself, this is so wrong. I don't want them to feel like I'm objectifying them. He was like, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, my mom would be so embarrassed if she saw me letting girls do this to me. And I was like, that is so precious. But him and this other girl have started hitting it off on the show because it's only on episode like 6. And I went to go look at
Is it the other black girl?
No,
I didn't think so.
they've got the brother sister vibe. And then the other black girl
Mm.
who's on the show, she's in a relationship. And so when I went to go look at his Instagram to see if him and the girl that they're hitting it off with are still like a thing, she hasn't posted him at all on her Instagram, but he's posted her. And I was like, I like that. I like for a guy to be like, this is my woman. I don't feel like it's necessary for a woman to post a guy on her Instagram, but I feel like when a guy does that, it shows me like, okay, you're serious. You're not trying to hide me. You're not trying to make other women feel like you're available, like you want people to know, no, this is my girl. And I like that.
I definitely feel like it should go both ways, though. Me
Mm,
personally,
mm,
I'm dead.
Jay, I'm with you.
That's just me. I'm not saying post because he posts. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I've seen the other side. I'm sorry, my fellow women, but I have seen girls be sneaky by not doing that.
Women are shady as fuck.
Well,
Not the
better.
women I run with, but like women are shady as fuck. So like I could totally see that. That makes sense.
Women are smarter naturally, you know?
There's that.
Oh
But
my
yeah, I
goodness.
would never do like a big post like I just got unless someone was sweet enough to do one of those will you be my girlfriend dates, where they make it a big thing. I might post that like a couple months later. But I'll throw you in my dump or something for the month. Not
Yeah.
something just about you and only you. Cause at that point it's not that serious. I ain't got no ring on my finger yet.
And on that note,
Period. Okay, well, that was a good check in. Now we need to go ahead and go down Lover's Lane while we talk about jealousy within relationships because it is a thing.
and in all types of relationships, not even just in romantic relationships. Jealousy among girls, I feel like I experienced that a lot in high school, not in undergrad, because I literally didn't make friends until I became an AKA. But in high school, the jealousy just runs rampant. But that also goes back to like, do you keep it private until it's permanent? Because some people, once they see you doing well, regardless of what it is, they want to start preying on what you have because they're just those types of people. You know, not to say that not all men are strong enough to like block when other women are coming at them. And that's not me making an excuse for them because like they should be, but it's like women sometimes are ruthless and are like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get what she has.
And niggas want to act like they don't understand that fucking concept. They understand it when it comes to me, though.
Well,
Right, teaching me how to watch my back and watch who I'm around, but then when it's you, it's just like, "Oh, no." Like, and they act like they have the willpower to not be able to speak to that person, like, if something happens between y'all, it's like, that's the first person you hop to because that's the one you know that's going, so
but I truly do believe that there are men out there who honor, and I think it even goes a step beyond honoring your partner. I think it's also a lot to do with honoring yourself. Are you the type of person who's going to entertain someone else knowing that you're in a committed relationship? And I do think those men exist. I think they are far and few between. I saw this Instagram video the other day and it was this guy being like, you can't hang out with us anymore because we know you cheat on your girl. The guy was saying, we need to start normalizing this in 2026. And I was like, yes, we need more of y'all to be out here spreading that message and holding other dudes accountable in that way because, hello, we'd all be better for it.
Okay, so let's start off with the partners then, with the jealousy with the partners. Because don't know why people get in relationships with somebody they gonna be jealous of. That just don't make sense to me. Because if I'm in a relationship with you, I already think you're dope as fuck, or I wouldn't be with you. I would want to help you elevate. So when you do good, I'm gonna be happy for you. So I don't understand where I don't get. And I've seen it done before. I know it happens. And I'm trying to think if it's happened to me before. But sometimes people aren't jealous. They be hating. It's not jealousy. It's hate. So it's like sometimes you gotta separate the two. Cause is this nigga just hating on me or is he jealous of me?
to me, I don't really separate the two, like jealousy or hate, because to me they kind of seem, and they may not be, because everybody has different definitions, but sometimes they feel a bit interchangeable. Because if you hating on somebody, it's like, oh well, they have something that I want, or that I want for myself, or something that I feel like I can get that just comes naturally to this person. So I mean, that to me, it just feels like it's kind of two sides of the same coin. But yeah, I don't get it either. But I think what I may be starting to realize is that, like, if you are jealous of a partner or hating on a partner, then you don't see anything with them long term. Because if y'all have both agreed to be in this committed relationship, and like I have certain strengths that you don't, vice versa, that we both benefit from. And if your reaction is to be like jealous or to try to pick it apart or be like, well, why does this happen to them and not me? Da, da, da. You don't see yourself with me long term. Because especially if we're on that path of just being together, getting married, being together forever, then like it's to benefit you too. Like whatever blessings come my way or whatever good things happen to me, for me, it's supposed to be for you too. But I feel like some people don't see it that way. So I'm just like, well, maybe you're not in it for the long haul.
I really agree with that.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I feel like the hate is the action of the jealousy. Like the jealousy is the feeling and the hate is acting on the jealousy. I think that's just it.
I like that.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And I feel like the hate doesn't have to be like, you fucking suck at that. I can't believe they awarded you that. It can be the microaggressions as well, like the shady comments, the slick comments. And that's why, taking it back to one of those other episodes we talked about, joking in relationships. That's why I'm like, hold on a minute. Because at some point, them jokes, it's not coming off as jokes to me. It feels like you're throwing shade my way, and it feels like we need to unpack that. And if we're at a place where we have to do that, then as Kayla's saying, maybe we need to reevaluate this relationship. But I also feel like you have to be confident in yourself before you get in a relationship. Because a lack of self-confidence, I feel like, is just a breeding ground for jealousy and hate. Because as y'all said, you're going to be looking at your partner like, why are they getting something that I'm not getting? Or why is it that people just flock to them naturally, but nobody gives me that attention? Why is it that I get upset when somebody compliments my partner, but they don't compliment me? Those are internal issues that you need to address in hopefully someone's therapy chair, because there's just no place for jealousy in my mind. I think there's a Maya Angelou quote, and it said, it is like jealousy in relationships is like salt. A little bit adds to the taste, but too much will ruin the entree or some shit like that. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't even think a little bit. I don't subscribe to that at all.
I feel that. And I feel like I can only speak for myself, but I fully go into a relationship knowing that, like, because by that point you've gotten to know each other, spend time with each other. I fully go into relationships knowing that that person has strengths that I do not possess. Every
Mhm.
single person that I have dated has been an amazing cook. I don't cook well consistently. Sometimes it turns out nicely. Sometimes I'm like, girl, you can throw this in the trash. But I know that. So it's like, I wouldn't be jealous of a person. And I actually had this conversation in my past relationship. Like, when a person that you're with has certain strengths, I mean, I don't know if entitled is the best word, but you are entitled to certain things. So if my partner can cook, I am entitled to have some of the meals. If my strength is budgeting or cleaning up, you know what I mean? Like, if you're my partner and I know that this is like a soft spot for you, not like I'm taking care of you, but like, if I know that I'm just better at it than you and I also enjoy it, obviously you're going to benefit from that. So like I said, I go into a relationship knowing that like there are things that this person can do better than me, and that's okay. That's why we're here to match and to balance off of each other.
Exactly. And most of the time, I do try to go after people who I already think are better than me in the first place. But I'm trying to date up. I'm not trying to date a nigga that I already think is below me. Like, that don't even fucking make sense. That I do agree with that. I will say that I do feel like I don't think there's a way to have no jealousy at all. Like, I think a little bit of jealousy is healthy, like, because I just feel like we're humans, we're gonna get jealous at points. But I think there's a healthy jealousy versus a negative, bad jealousy. Because I've had times where I felt jealous of my partner and their family's connection that they have, because my family doesn't have that connection or things like that. So, like, I think that's a healthy jealousy, but I never took it out on them or, like, hated on them or made comments like
Must be nice.
I may have made a comment. I may have made a comment or 2, but, I'm not hating because like, "Oh, my man got a better job and is making, like, twice as much as me." I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna be mad at that, but, like, I think you should have to be able to self-assure yourself. I don't know if that's, like, even a word, but, like, you gotta be able to hype your own self up. You can't be always looking to the next person to big up you and all that. Like, you gotta be able to do that on your own from the get-go. But that also means I don't need you hating on my shit when I am doing good.
Yeah.
Like, pipe down.
So not only then does it take you to be confident in yourself, it takes self-awareness. Because if there is the
Mhm.
type of jealousy that you talked about and recognizing that your partner has like a better connection with his family, then it's like, yeah, I recognize that that makes me feel a little icky, but I recognize that because I'm aware that I don't have that connection with my family. And that's something that
Mhm.
I deeply wish that I had. That doesn't mean that I'm going to get into the middle of their family and start fucking shit up because I
Right.
feel a certain way about my family, but that's what some people will do, which is absolutely crazy
Or
to me.
make you feel bad for having a supportive family. Like, don't get mad at me because my mama loved me and she still got me on the phone bill or something. Like, that's not my experience, but I'm just saying, like, in
Yeah.
general. You can't be mad because my family's acting like a family. Like, that's not my fucking fault. And from my perspective, it's like, yeah, I am a little jealous. Like, damn, your family dynamic seems really cool to me because I'm here with the family at this point. I didn't see the family build up to this point, and I'm also thinking, well, damn, that means if I procreate with this person, then that family becomes their family. So it's like I feel good, and I don't start to hate based on that jealousy. I'm just aware that it's there.
And so then I think it also takes a level of maturity because a lot of people aren't doing that internal reflection and aren't thinking through why situations like that are triggering. And so it
Mhm.
comes out in acts of hate instead of taking it a step further, like you just did, like, oh, wait a minute. And like as Kayla said, if we have a long term future together, you having this dynamic benefits me and our kid. This also shows me what type
Mhm.
of parent you're going to be, what type of family dynamic not only will we have from extended family on your side, but like what type of family dynamic we can build as a unit. And you'll be able to set the example for what that looks like in our house. That's real.
Yeah.
I feel like in terms of what you said about you would never be jealous of your man having a better job than you and making more money than you, I feel like that's probably most women, but I think
Yeah, Yeah.
Men, 1000%. I feel like I don't even know if it's jealousy or if it's insecurity. And maybe that's also like another tenet underneath the umbrella of jealousy.
Yeah.
Be extremely insecure about dating a woman that has a better paying job, has a higher quote unquote title, whatever the case may be, than what they do. Which I don't understand because if we're in a relationship, you're going to benefit from the job that I have.
If something advances the woman takes that advance as an advance for the collective of the family of the group. And I feel like men take money and correlate it to power. So they feel like if you have more money than me, you have more power than me in this relationship. Because honestly, we could keep the bills the same, honey. I can rack up this extra $20 I'm getting a month, an hour, and you can keep paying the bills. So you feel like you are doing something. We can keep it like that, honestly, because that's what it sounds like niggas want you to do. Because it's like, just because 'cause I'm making more money, what does that have to do with us? How about you take charge and say, "Okay, now you're making more money, let me help us with the budget. This is how we're gonna budget the money out." You'll have way more spending money for yourself, which women are gonna turn that around and spend it on the family anyway, for the most part.
How do y'all feel about telling a man how much money you make? Because I've heard a lot of women say to not do that. And the older I get, the more
Mm,
I'm like, you know what? I don't think I will ever share that tidbit of information again. Especially like if I like to somebody that I'm not married to. Cause I don't
yeah.
necessarily understand how that conversation would go. Like, to somebody who is married, unless like the man truly does not care. Like he makes a good living, he takes care of what he needs to take care of, and he's like, I don't care, keep your money. Because there are a lot of men like that. I have yet to come across them, but I don't know how that would go. But like, especially in like the dating phase, I don't feel like sharing that is helpful.
Never had to share that. I think, once you tell somebody what you do, you can kinda get a range of, like, probably how much money they making. But if we're not connected financially to where we have a shared bank account or we got names on the same bill, there's no need for you to know my numbers.
Right.
Because just know my bills are paid and my bills are gonna stay paid.
So I had a
Yeah.
friend, and you all know this friend. I'll share their name offline in our real group chat. Her and her husband have a shared bank account. They have similar jobs, but not the same job. She got a promotion, and that also came with a pay raise, but she did not tell her husband. So she opened up a separate bank account to have the additional money taken out of her paycheck and put into the separate bank account so that for him, it still looked like in their joint account that even though she got this promotion, that she was still making less than what he was making. And I was like, the fragility of your ego. Because
Yeah.
if you're my husband, why wouldn't you want to clap for me in the raise that I'm getting? Because, like you just said, Miranda, more times than not, speaking about the women that we fuck with, we're taking whatever we're making and we're going to make sure that it's benefiting our household. We're not taking it to just go blow it on a yacht in Greece with our girls. Now, because we're good at budgeting, are we probably still going to do that? Absolutely. But like the house is going to be taken care of. You're going to be taken care of. If we have kids, they're going to be taken care of. So I just thought when she told me that was absolutely crazy. And I just feel like that's a level of jealousy. Even if y'all haven't said the quiet part out loud, the fact that you know he would be jealous of you making more money, I just don't know that I would want to be married to somebody like that.
I was just gonna say it. I was like, I don't wanna be married to somebody I gotta do all that for. I'm sorry. I know people who are married, they have a joint bank account, but they only put bill money in that bank account, and then they have their own separate bank account. So, like, their check wouldn't get directly deposited into that. They would filter their bill money into the joint. So I feel like I like that idea.
But I like the idea of like, yeah, if we're going to be married, we can have a joint bank account for joint bills. We can have a joint bank account for savings for like house stuff, if we share vehicles, going on family vacations, stuff like that. But other than that, you keep whatever else is in your paycheck and we don't need to discuss anything that's not in this joint bank account. Yeah.
Kayla, did you answer that? Because you asked it, didn't you?
Yeah, but I agree with the friend because I'm fully in this mindset of like not changing the nature of men. And if she knows her partner well enough to know that like this would trigger something and it could cause something bigger, I get it. Like being like, oh, I don't want to be married to a person like that. But like if they're already married and I mean, men have not changed since Adam. Like, and we know that these things have, are, I don't want to say issues for them, but I mean, most men are not doing the deep dives of like, why do I feel offended when she does this? Listen, you just got to do what you got to do. I do think that the better option is like the joint account for bills and stuff like that. And like, you can even set it up through your employer. Like, I want 50% to go here, 50%. So you don't even got to do too much, but I mean, I think I would probably do the same, especially if I'm already married to the person and I'm just like, look, I don't even want to rock the boat. And most marriages erupt because of some kind of financial issue. Um, and like I follow a few Black women on Instagram who have like their own side hustle, I guess, but like it's teaching women to save. And because, and these women share these stories of like, oh, I was married, we had good money. I never thought we end up divorced, blah, blah, blah. And then I had to start from scratch. So like they've always been advocates of like, regardless of how well your relationship is going, have your own, which I mean, obviously, but if like her doing that eliminates a potential issue, look, I got too much else to worry about. So yeah. Yeah, we make the same. Yeah.
I think it comes from me. I'm very much a like, and my therapist said I need to stop doing this, but like, I'm a person like, I feel like if I do it, then the other person should do it. Or if I wouldn't do that, then the other person shouldn't do that. So like, I wouldn't want to lie about something because I wouldn't want him to lie, even though I wouldn't give a fuck. But it's just like, I feel like that was a lot of sneakiness going on. I wouldn't even want to do all that. So if we do have just a joint that just the bill money, you wouldn't know how much I'm making in the first place. Just know every month I put my little $500 in there and you make sure it goes to where it needs to go.
Amen.
Yeah. And that's big facts from your therapist. And that's something I also have had to learn myself is you can't expect yourself from other people. And baby, let me tell you, that has been one of the hardest lessons that I have had to learn. I also really like what you said, Kay, about not changing the nature of men. And I think that goes across the board, not even to just men, not changing the nature of people in general. Like at the end of the day, we have to let people show up how they're showing up. And then with the data points that we get from that, decide how we're going to move because we show up the way that we show up. Yeah.
We're not in the developing stages of our early 20s trying to figure life out. Like you should have figured a little bit out by now. And I'm not here to fucking teach you, honey.
And if this is what you have learned, I respect that. But we went to 2 different universities. So I'm going to let you do you over there and I'm going to keep on this track over here.
Yes, absolutely.
And so with that, letting people show us who they are, what do we think about jealousy in terms of friendships? Is that something that you all feel like you have experienced?
I honestly don't think so. I don't know what it would look like for me. I mean, I have experienced people trying to like imitate things that I do and say and like consume, but it never necessarily felt like it's annoying. And it's not okay, not when my friends do it, because I feel like with friends, you're supposed to learn from each other. And like, that's kind of the point. Like, why would my friend have this great thing if I can't be like, oh, where you get that from? You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't think so.
And just to continue trying to repay for all of my bad karma in high school. I think I was the friend who was jealous of a lot of other friends. Yeah. And I think that has to go back to being a Black girl in a predominantly white school with all these people who have so much access to resources and things. And I'm just like, damn, why don't I have that access? Again, dark time in life.
I get that.
Okay, I was gonna piggyback off that because I feel like I wouldn't be friends with people that I felt are jealous of me. And I feel like I have a really good discernment of people's characters. And I also feel like I notice when people are shady way before other people notice, and I try to tell them, and they're like, "Oh, I know." And then like a year later, they'd be like, "Oh, remember when you said such and such?" Yeah, I do. But what they do to you now? Let me figure. Go ahead, tell me. I feel like I can kind of clock people before it gets to that point. But I can remember being really young, like middle school, and having times of me being jealous of people. And that's just, I think that's part of life. But I also resonate with you, going to PWIs because when I was younger, I lived in the middle of fucking Kansas and I lived in the white part, not by the niggas. So there was a point I went to a school and I was one of 4 Black people in the school. One of the other Black people was my sister, and one of the other Black people was our fucking guidance counselor, and the other person was mixed. And I feel like when you're in environments like that, they start to pit you against each other as the minorities. It's like you're in this like silent competition, low key, with all the other black people because it's like who's gonna be the best nigga? Because it's like you can't be in competition to be the best girl in the school. So you gotta settle for being the best nigga. And I'm just keeping it real. Cause like even in like regular competitions they would have, like, like prom king and stuff like that. It was like, all right, I know I'm not gonna win prom king queen because they're gonna pick somebody white for that. But, like, the smaller thing, like, we used to have this thing called WPA around, Valentine's Day. I was like, "Nah, I could win that." You feel me? But it sucks because, like, I feel like I realized when I was being jealous of my friend after the fact, but we talked about it, we moved forward, we were actually able to get over that, but, like, I wasn't coming from a bad place when I was being jealous. I felt like I was just reacting to things and just not reacting in the healthiest way. But now that I'm older, I can see when something's triggering me. Instead of being jealous for people, I can be happy for people. And I know that somebody else doing good doesn't take away from me doing well or anything that I'm doing.
I'm pretty sure, I don't want to say I was never jealous of anybody, but like what it translated to in my brain was like, why don't I have that? To me, it was more so confusion. Like, why does everything seem like a struggle for me when it comes to like looks or my hair or just hell, even my height, because I was just shorty. When it seemed like it was so easy for everybody else. So like I took that as like, what is wrong with me to where like
Yep.
I didn't have a family like this. We didn't have money like that. I don't have hair like that. Like that's what I took it as. And like I was always trying to figure out what was wrong with me. So there were things that I guess envied is the right word, but just like things that I really thought were cool in other people. And like obviously things that I wanted for myself, but like my brain couldn't understand why I did not have that. And it wasn't like, oh, they shouldn't have it. I was just like, oh, I too would like whatever this is.
And even though in junior high and high school, I recognized when I was jealous of other people, like what you were saying, Kayla, I don't think I ever acted on it. I mean, other people may say otherwise, but from what I can recall, I don't ever remember acting on it, but I remember it like really shaping my sense of self and my identity and developing this sense of like, I'm worthless. Like how is it that all these other people have all of these things, but I don't? So in junior high, when all of the elementary schools came together into one junior high, the black kids from like the predominantly black elementary schools looked at me like, oh, you're one of those black girls that acts white. And I was like, well, if I act white, I hang out with these white people, but like I don't have access to what the white people have. So like, what's wrong with me? Why I don't fit in over here? I really don't fit in over here. So like, what's the problem?
No, yeah, I get exactly what you.
And then taking it back to the conversation we had about friendships, now as an adult and I look back on, I'm like, all that shit, those people were so fake and they were so fake to me. Like I think it was like, oh, that's Jalen, our black friend. It's not like that's Jalen, our friend.
Yep. Right there with you because I got to that point where I was like, fuck it, y'all gonna like me or you're not. The blacks, the whites, I'm just gonna get along with everybody. And I got to a point where I'm the oldest of my siblings. My parents are divorced. Everybody's telling me, like, you're the best. You go out there, you do the best. You gotta be a role model for your little brothers and sisters. So I'm out here, overcompensating because I'm the oldest sibling, overcompensating because I'm black, overcompensating because I'm a girl. So I'm like, I gotta be the fucking shit at everything because these white people ain't gonna give me shit unless I'm the fucking best. So it got to the point where I guess the confidence in me, which I was never arrogant, I was just confident because I knew I was the best at everything because I had to be. And then it got turned on me. It got turned on to, oh, Miranda's mean. Miranda thinks she's all that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like that not how I'm trying to come off. So I started to dim myself. And then that took me down a whole another path I shouldn't even fucking went down.
Do you all feel like, and speaking just for us right here, do you all feel like in any ways we have taken those thoughts into romantic relationships?
Which thoughts do you?
Like how you just said you had to overcompensate for this, overcompensate for that. Kayla, you and I talking about those experiences shaping our identity. For me personally, me feeling like this sense of worthlessness or like, do I deserve anything great or good? because I don't already have it. So, like, what's wrong with me? Do you feel like those core experiences growing up have shaped in any way how we show up in romantic relationships?
Probably.
They used to. So, like, I always felt like, even still growing up, I didn't deserve to have love or be loved until I obtained certain things that other people had. Like, I literally thought to, like, oh, to have a boyfriend, you have to be perfect because, they're going to see you in like this vulnerable state. And because I don't have X, Y, and Z, like all these other girls, I'm not ready to be in one. Even when people were like expressing how they felt about me, I didn't believe them because I'm like, well, there's no possible way that you could like me or be interested in me because I don't have those things. So you're lying. So that's how it affected me. And it kind of kept me in a bubble until I was able to like grow up. So to the point now, it doesn't affect me because I'm like, look, I know I'm the shit. Like when it comes to certain things, I'm not perfect, but I know that like I can show up as a really good partner. But like, yeah, back then,
My people pleasing definitely translated over into my relationships because it kind of went away from how I felt and what was good for me to just making sure that person was happy all the time. So that can translate to me, dimming down and adapting to make other people feel um comfortable, I guess.
Yeah. And I was going to say for me, I feel like just accepting any type of behavior because in those environments, it's like, well, you take what you can get. If the black people are saying you don't fit here and the white people are like, oh yeah, that's my black friend. Like we said last week or the week before, we're not meant to be alone as humans. So it's like, if I'm getting scraps from these friends and scraps from these friends, I guess that's all I'm good for is getting the scraps. So then like in a relationship, it's like, well, something's better than nothing.
Look at the growth. We can see it now. Ooh, we're going through it,
Seriously.
child.
In everything that we've said tonight, jealousy, even though it may be a natural part of life, there is work that we need to do to unpack why we feel jealous feelings so that it doesn't turn into hate. But I think our most important thing to take away tonight as our Lover Girl lesson of the week is there's no place for jealousy in mature relationships.
Mature being the key word.
That part.
Well, to wrap it up, do we have any updates for this week?
I don't know if it's for a dear future husband or not. I mean, I guess it is. I don't know if y'all watch Paradise. To the men,
Oh, don't spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it.
Spoil
Not
it?
going to spoil it.
Okay, okay.
To the men out there who are pursuing women, including myself, come get me the way Xavier is going to get his wife, okay? Because that nigga has gone through the Odyssey. Get to his wife. And he is not fucking around with anybody or anything that is standing in his way.
Okay, you got an update?
I don't, but I was going to say to the men out here trying to pursue me, stop. I'm just kidding. See, I just need to be left alone. Just come back around in 2027. Thanks.
You heard it here first. And she's not lying.
Y'all know I'm not.
She may be laughing, but she's serious, y'all. I don't really have an update, y'all. I'm just out here trying to get my life together, trying to get back in the gym. If any lovers and friends are listening, I do need suggestions for like healthy snacks. I feel like if I can get I tried to get like consistent in the gym last year, and then I was like, next year I'll focus on eating healthy while I go to the gym. But I've been slacking going to the gym because I haven't been eating right, because I can't go to the gym if I ain't ate all day. I'm gonna pass out. So if y'all got any quick little snacks I can make at the house, suggestions, put them in the comments somewhere on Instagram, please, y'all. I need them. Thank you.
We're trying to be baby stallions in 2026. Let's go.
Period. I'm still a little show pony, but we gonna get there. We just gonna get there. All right, y'all. We're gonna put y'all back on D&D. Until next week. Bye.